Alright, so as promised, this is a video about how I created that on the phone, or at least I'm going to explain how I did it on the phone. So I'm just going to use my tablet for an example, but it's the same process for everything here. Yep. It's a password. It's a password of passwords. So, first, I'm going to go and find... So, I used Andronix. Various ways to do it. I'm using a phone here just so I can easily do everything, just have it all one nice video. So, Andronix lets you run a Linux desktop environment within Android. So, say Debian. This is, so you have your, so you do XFCE, LXDE, LXQT, or just there's no desktop environment. Now, I would personally recommend the modded OS. That works way better. Now, I use the Ubuntu XFCE, but the Debian or the KDE are the ones. You have Manjaro. Now, yes, you see Kali Linux here. No, it doesn't work very well. It's not going to be able to do the hacking because Andronix runs the Linux within the proot within the Android proot environment. What that means is you don't actually have access to hardware. Everything is done within the CPU, on the CPU. So, like say the Blender that I do, for instance, I don't have access to OpenCL or hardware OpenGL 3.3 or any hardware OpenGL. The OpenGL is all done in software. OpenCL just isn't there. It's non-existent. Anyway, so go here. So say you would, and there's documentation with that. And anyway, so I already have it installed. Here it is, working really nicely. There we go. As you can see. Now, this is very much just a... I'm gonna smudge on the camera. Smudge gone. As you can see, it's very easy. It's a terminal. It's a terminal emulator, sort of. And it works really nicely, and it sits outside of the operating system environment. Now, I'm just going to type in the command for boom, bang. Now we actually have now we actually have an operating system running. It's virtualized operating system. So then BNC server -start. Choose HD resolution. You're going to see why here in a second. Boom. All right. We can lock this. Close it down. All right. Now here comes the big boy. I gotta turn the brightness up real quick. 1 second. All right. Now, this laptop is not going to work very well because it's right now running this fluid sim. It's going to take a very long time because it's a 256 resolution cube, and yeah, your desktop might go faster. But the thing about your desktop is that your desktop has a lot more processing power. And this laptop's very old. Alright, so I got it up here now. you may or may not, you might be able to find in the documentation, but the way you connect is you just, let's see, so if I go to properties here, I can show you. Just your phone's IP address, and then a 5901 port. That is where you will find the VNC server. Now, even if you're doing it on the device itself, you're going to end up using a localhost port 1. Come on, close. Connect. No route to host is known. That's because I've got the Wi-Fi off on this device, on this laptop. Yeah, I generally don't have the Wi-Fi on this laptop because it doesn't really need to use the Wi-Fi very often, at least for now. But I'm going to show you the process I used to do this. So while I wait for things to kind of connect and such, I'll be right back. Alright, back. So, connect the VNC viewer. Boom. Now, this does work best if you set your device to a static IP. If it's like this guy, the phone, and this guy right there. That's my old phone that I'm going to use now as another device in addition to this. And that cooler there is because that thing is hot. Those S6, those Galaxy S6s get really hot. Alright, so here we are. We just go full screen here. Alright, so here we are. We are inside. We're now on that operating system. Now, I use the laptop because interfacing is a lot easier and it's more what I'm used to. Blender 2.8 is something that I'm still getting used to because, as you guys noticed, the Blender that was running on the laptop was Blender 2.79b. That's a whole other thing for another day. But 2.79b, it's because of OpenGL. This laptop's old. It doesn't have proper OpenGL. Well, it's officially supports only OpenGL 1.4, but it can do OpenGL 2.0. Might be a little buggy, but generally it works. So here we are. This is a fluid simulation that I'm doing, but it's. But if I go to say, right here, is this one that's, nope. What was it, 2 then? Yeah, 2. So look, so this isn't the same one. Or was it? It may or may not be the same one that I had posted. I don't think it is. But as you can see, and so this is all running on the thing here, but just I've got my scene here, so I could hit render. I'll just render an image. See, what's it going to end up doing? Okay, this is an Eevee, so it's going to take a little bit because since it's all being done in software, the Eevee now has to take over the graphics. Okay, see, there it is. It's rendered. Now, because it's all done in software and on a mobile CPU, for instance, specifically a Snapdragon 835, see that time right there, 18 seconds. Not that great. But say I wanted cycles. I can do cycles. But if I go to device, if I go GPU compute, nothing. And I'm going to show you why. This is one of the limitations of, let's see, this is one of the limitations of Andronix. So if I go to System, Cycles Render Device, none, CUDA, or OpenCL. Well, if I go CUDA, nothing's present. Obviously, OpenCL, nothing's present. Now, this the Adreno GPU that's on the 835 actually has full OpenCL 2.0 capabilities, and that's even I believe also even through Android. But because this is running because Andronix runs the OS in proot, not chroot, it's quite limited. Now, the only way to run it in chroot is you need to root your device and then play around with the OS. Yeah, nothing, so, alright. But yeah, I've access to all the controls here, so focus the device that I'm doing here. So numpad, give it a sec. There it is. Or I go back to 0. Boom, beautiful. And so I'll just show you how fast it renders a 64. Yeah, I did that in 7.5 seconds. So pretty quick. So now why the heck am I using, just answer the big question. Why the heck am I using this, and even the phone that I'm recording on? Why am I using those to do all this Blender stuff? Why not just use this guy right here? Or maybe even add this guy into the mix. This guy's a no-go right off the bat. It's an Intel Atom N455. It's a single core, hyper-threaded, very slow, and can't really process that much at once. This guy is actually pretty decent. That's why I've got that Fluid Sim running. But as I explained a little bit earlier, it's just very slow. This laptop is running currently. When I first got it, was not running this, but currently it is running a Core 2 Duo T7600, and it's Intel's first real foray into the core line, into the i3s, i5s, i9s that you now know as today. Your i3, so your i9 10900K, that has its roots all the way back to not specifically this CPU, but in the desktop ones, but it's the same series, same core series. This is just the mobile versions, and those have their roots, I think, with the Pentium M. But anyways, this guy, it's not that fast. It's a dual core, 2.33 gigahertz. It's a lot quicker than the previous than the T2300E, but it's still nowhere near as fast as this guy. This guy right here gets, in the BMW benchmark on the T2300, it got 3 hours and 45 minutes, almost 4 hours on the BMW demo. Your i9 9900K, KS, whatever you want to say. So yeah, i9 9900. Top end, really great really just generally a pretty nice processor. Whoops. Generally a really nice processor. But your i9s, yeah, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that's right. Your i9s, they would do that benchmark in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. Just they wouldn't even take a minute to do the BMW demo. This guy, with the original CPU, took almost 4 hours. That's as fast as Raspberry Pi 3B, which I think you can pick those up for like $20, $25 now. With the T7600 and the SSD and the RAM that it now has, Mostly the CPU is what has made the increase. It does that in an hour and 20 minutes. Much faster, but so that's, Raspberry Pi T2300, yeah, T7600. This is where the tablet sits. Your i9s are like up here somewhere above but tablet sits up here at the top. This guy and this phone here and the camera that I'm using and my Note 9 for camera right now. This Tab S4 and this Note 9 get 32 minutes. 32 freaking minutes. That's much faster than this guy. It's smaller, and it needs even less power. This guy, the Snapdragon 845 and the Snapdragon 835 have a max TDP of 9 watts. That guy, 34 watt CPU. That guy over there, that little guy sitting there with that fan, I want to say it's also 9 watts, but I have no clue what the actual TDP of that is. I just know that its CPU kicks out a lot more heat than the CPU of even the Note 9. That's just efficiency for you. But 32 minutes. That's 2.5 times faster. That guy right there, with the cooler on it, gets 44 minutes. Without the cooler, it's an hour and 15, so not that much faster, and it gets extremely hot, which I don't want to let it sit at because the batteries on there has started expanding. But still, 32 minutes on a phone. And that's why I'm doing this stuff on the mobile, on my tablet. 32 freaking minutes. That's a big difference. Here, I'll even, I'll just minimize it. Nope. Crap. And that's gonna take a while. Be right back. Alright, here we go. Here's just the list of stuff that I've done. So, 3 hours and 45 minutes. That's your Core 2 Duo T2300E. Yeah, it's a Latitude D620. It's a pretty nice laptop. So, 3 hours 45 minutes. Then it got an hour and 20 minutes. Oh yeah, I forgot. That Atom N455, 7 hours and 30 minutes. 7.5 hours. That's way too slow to be practical, to be usable at all right now. All except for maybe stitching frames together. But, and so I've also got the demos per 24-hour period. This makes a really easy comparison of just how much it could theoretically process. Fastest one on here is my Note 9 with a Peltier cooler. I did that test just to see if it was thermal throttling. The Tab S4 was not thermal throttling. It's so big that CPU wasn't hitting the throttle point. And so it also got 32 minutes. I can maybe get it down to 30 minutes if I could if I chilled it. Maybe 30, 31 minutes, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Not 100% sure, but 99% sure it wasn't thermal throttling. But yeah, 45 it could do about 51 demos a day. And here's that performance difference I was telling you about. 44 minutes, that actually becomes usable. Now, I'm not logging into that guy there because I've got some software issues going on with that guy. I might have to play around with the power mode settings on him. But those numbers should tell you why this laptop is no longer going to be the main actual workhorse. Still going to be the interface, but all right, but this guy right here, this is the tablet. I hit render and the tablet will get nice and warm. That's it. It doesn't need to do, I don't need to do anything more with it. This tablet is ready to rock and roll and just demolish what this laptop can do. So I hope that will answer questions for you guys. I know it's long, I know it's rambling, and it's too late for me to really, I don't even feel like editing this video, so it's just going to be straight up raw footage. So, enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time with a compilation of tower falls. I'm working on just actually stitching the frames together and putting the audio on it. I'll have that up in a few days. So, you guys just have a pretty wonderful day, and yeah.